Hey guys, we're looking at material compatibility in relationships through palmistry today. And the key to this is in ancient India, when a couple would want to get married, they'd go to like an astrologer or a palmist and they'd tell them these are the key areas of your relationship where things are good and where things are not good. One of the things they'd look at was your material compatibility. In other words, if after you guys tie the knot, are you going to make money or are you going to be spending and wasting all your money? Yeah, some partners are just lucky for their partner, the person they end up marrying. They start generating wealth after that point. We're going to look at that from a palmistry perspective today. So there's two key areas to look at here. The first is a marriage line and the other is the fate line. So the marriage line, that's underneath the pinky finger. You know where that heart line is? We can approximate that age to be about 18. And the top of this area, just at the base of the pinky finger, we can make that the age of 45. And the midpoint here becomes the age of 25, and you can subdivide this area accordingly. So when you see a horizontal line here, you can time it accordingly. So if it's a little bit below, you can say that someone got married at say 23 or 24. If it's a little bit above, well then you can calculate it that way. But what you will also want to do is have a look at the fate line. That's the Saturn line that runs through the middle of the hand and it ends under the middle finger. Does this line get thicker after the age at which you get married? So to time this line, we take the point where this line intersects the head line and make that the age of 35. And the very base of the wrist where this line starts, that's the age of 0. So the midpoint there is about 17, and then you can sort of subdivide that area up and down as you need to. So let's have a look at some practical examples here. This is a hand of a person. You can see two relationship lines here. One of these is at about the age of 24 and the other is at the age of 28. So what happened with this guy, he was actually engaged at 24, but that didn't work out for him, and then he remarried someone else at the age of 28. Now let's have a look at his fate line. You see how this one goes straight and then it just comes to an abrupt halt? That's at about the age of 24. So what that means is if he did marry his first fiancée, she wouldn't have been very compatible with him from a material perspective. But if you look at only 3 years later, you see how this line gets a whole lot stronger. That means the wife he did end up marrying was actually lucky for him. He made more money because of her influence on him and his life. And that's what material compatibility is all about. It's through the influence of someone else do you generate more wealth. Now here's another example, and you can't see the marriage line too well on this picture, but this person, she got married at the age of 25. And if we look at her fate line, it goes pretty strong up until about the age of 25, then it kind of splinters off into lots of different directions. So is her husband good for her materially or not? Let's have a look at the other lines. You see her success line starting up at about this age. You also see a business line starting up for her at about this age too. So what this means is that yes, her husband is actually very lucky for her from a financial perspective. That's the context of relationships really. The fundamentals to every relationship, of course, is your psychological compatibility and your emotional compatibility. That's the foundation of everything. But the number one predictor of divorce in pretty much every country is for financial reasons. And so if a couple gets together and they just can't make ends meet financially, it's the stress of that filters into other bigger problems in their relationship. Some couples, some partners, they encourage their partner to work harder, to study, to further their career, to save their money and invest it. Other people, they encourage their partner to buy a holiday on credit cards, to go out and shop and do all sorts of things that waste their money. When you tie the knot with someone, you want to make sure that you're materially compatible with them. It shouldn't be a deal breaker, but if it is, if it's the case that you're with someone who isn't good for you materially, you've got to start taking measures on this, because if you leave this unchecked, it's like a hole in a leaking bucket. Eventually it's going to catch up with you. You don't want that to happen. So that's how to tell if you're materially compatible with someone in a romantic relationship. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot, guys.